Welcome to another episode of Singapore's Real Estate Explained, where we break down every single information relating to real estate in Singapore into bite-sized pieces for you. And we just created this new series called the JNA Capital Markets series.
That's right.
We haven't came up with a name yet.
Yep.
We are working on it.
The next episode.
Absolutely. And we have created this series specifically for JNA Capital Markets because we believe that there's going to be a group of ultra high net worth or high net worth clients who may be watching this video and also wondering, right, in the GCBA, in the commercial market, right, what listing should we buy? What should we consider? How we should buy, right? And, we formed this capital markets team around 8 months back.
That's right.
And, we have been working like a cow. Tirelessly every single day. And that's the reason why today with me, I have this very handsome man. He is the superstar, right? And his name is Alvin Tan. So Alvin, why don't you introduce yourself? Like, what do you do? What is the designation? And what does the team that you're leading right now do?
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Alvin. I'm serving the buy side of residential for JNA Capital Markets.
Yeah.
So my team, basically what we do is we look through the market every week to identify what are some of the latest listing in the market available for buyers.
Yes.
And of course, and at the same time, what are some of the market movement so that we keep our buyers up to date.
Yes.
So to see what is still available, what has been transacted, and then we look at some of the trend in the market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we are like the personal assistants, the butlers, or would I say the property managers of most of the clients, because the moment there is a good deal that is up in the market, our clients will be the first to know. And it goes down to the detail as to who just reduced price by 5 million this morning, 8 million this morning. It's like a stock market.
Yeah.
Every single day is like a trading floor. Very intense, right? So what is the vision behind creating a buy-side team in JNA Capital Markets? Because in the previous video, I believe it will be posted, or maybe not, it will be the next video. Kimberly did share, right, the vision of creating that sell-side team is because of operational excellence in selling homes, which is one of the mission in JNA, right? So what is the key? Why? Why buy-side? I mean, you can just all work together, sell, buy, everything do together. Yeah.
I think it's mainly, let's say today you are shopping with a friend, you know, you're looking at certain products and you can't decide which brand. Then you just want that particular friend to give you this opinion, his input, and then you want an unbiased opinion because you're emotionally invested into the land, into a product. Then this is where you want the logical aspect. Then this is where the buy side team comes in with to serve as giving an objective input into the market.
Absolutely. And I would just say that most of the buy side team individuals are nerds. Because we look at numbers and data on a daily basis. And they formulate reports, they give projections, and they are that unbiased opinion, that objective opinion for any client who's looking to buy. And this is not absent in the market right now. And even if it is, as what Kimberly mentioned, it's like a solopreneur. We are working as a team. And if you are someone who's interested in our service, right, the unbiased opinion, the first call to action is going to come out right now. You're going to see our number appear right here, and you just can contact this number. If you're looking to buy something, you're not so sure whether you should buy this plot or not, give us a try. I tell you, our proposals has wowed all the clients who have used other agencies before, and give us a try, right? So let me just give you an introduction of the team, just in case this is the first time you chance upon the capital markets team, right? As you can see, we have 3 wonderful leaders who are leading the capital markets team alongside us, and this is part of scaling JNA real estate. And I'm so blessed because it's easy to find a good salesperson, but it's not easy to find someone who is character driven. And by God's grace, these 3 individuals have joined my team for I think the past 2 years, and they have been handpicked individually to lead a huge market, a challenging market, an uphill battle, because there are a lot of we call it like OGATs, right? In this, right? And don't get us wrong, we love working with all the other agencies, but we just hope to bring that element of change. And first up, of course, we have Alvin, who is the residential specialist in the buy-side team. He leads the unbiased and objective opinion in the market. You need to be a good friend of Alvin. And the reason behind that is because this guy is going to be the first in the residential team to know what deal is going at a good price, what deal has just increased price, means the owners is no longer motivated to sell at a good price, and what fresh, piping hot listings out in the market is available. And last but not least, most importantly, the off-market listings through the network connections that we have built. And I'm so proud of the buy-side team because in the past 8 months, the team has secured close to 90% of good Class Bungalows and detached inventory with specialty in District 9, 10, 11, and D21.
Yes, that's right.
What's the hard work behind the scenes, man? Tell me more. Like, how does the week start off with?
Well, actually, it's a routine.
Yeah.
So we start off the week looking at the market changes, looking at what is new. Then after that, we follow up with our clients.
Yeah.
I think main thing, especially when you're talking about off market, you're talking about new inventory and a movement. You really have to be on the ground to hear from the sellers, to some of the buyers. Then they would be hearing from their neighbors or other point of contacts.
Yes.
And then they will want to have your opinion, like, hey, Alvin, I just heard this is in the market.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all these informations are actually through either if it's not online, then it's offline network.
Yeah. So I believe that Monday starts off with observing the market.
Yeah.
Being able to know the new listings that just came out in the market, knowing what listings has just dropped the price crazily because this is a good deal, means the owners are motivated. And unfortunately, which listing has increased price, right? Yeah. And then the rest of the week, besides bringing buyers for viewings, what I'm hearing from you is both online networks that have been feeding us information, offline networks that are feeding us information to know what are some of the market changes. Like just recently, there was a listing that was in the market for 20 million, and we heard that the closing price is actually 15.5 million from an undisclosed source that usually wants us to sign some NDA or something that we cannot share out of confidentiality.
Yeah.
And can you imagine this? If we represent the buyer instead of paying 18 million, let's say negotiated to 18 million, they are saving 2.5 million just because of this offhand market knowledge, because of the connections that the commercial side has built, the buy side has built, and the sell side has built, right? Yeah. And of course, next up, we also have this wonderful lady, of some call her like the queen, right, of selling real estate and GCBs, right? Young lady, but super aggressive and willing to take any battle, right, by its horns. I tell you, this lady is amazing, aggressive. She represents a sell side team, representing and making sure that every single listing is sold at the best price possible. So if you haven't watched the video, right, that we may have posted or we have not posted, we're not too sure because based on the timeline of our marketing team, we have a video that talks about one particular listing and we show you how we actually package this home, right? So join our Telegram group chat right now, because in the Telegram group chat, you are going to know first-hand information of what is happening in the capital markets team, right? This is the first time we are putting ultra high net worth and highly coveted, protected information out online. And what we just need from your support is, if you're watching this video, right, and if you have the heart, right, support us, work with us rather than approaching the owners direct. You know why? Because a lot of our owners tell us, guys, you guys are amazing at marketing. But it's just that, a lot of agents are knocking our doors. So if you're an agent, we are more than happy to work with you fairly. Okay, don't worry about that. Commission is always at the back of our mind because we are building brand, right? Number two, if you're a buyer, instead of sending this link to your agent, say, hey, you know what this plot is, let us know, right? Give us the opportunity to serve you, because behind every video and every slide takes time to build and takes effort to build as well, right? And of course, after talking about the sell side team, we have the commercial side team, Justin, who's also going to be talking about some interesting commercial deals in the market. Okay, I talked a lot already, okay? I just want to do an introduction of this entire capital markets team, right? Because our why is so powerful. Our why is so important. That keeps us awake. And I tell you one thing, it's not easy being the ultra high net worth market. You will think that, big deals means big commission. No. We spend a lot of money. We spend a lot of time. And sometimes it gets jading as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's tired, but I think all in the day's work. Yeah,
all in the day's work is like a trading floor. But you see, if it's me, maybe, we have given up long ago, but this team here is just tirelessly pushing, and it's just governed by that vision that we have to just bring that change for luxury listings in Singapore to be objective in purchase and extremely, extremely excellent in the operations when selling a home to get the best price for our owners, right?
Yes.
We feel that luxury homes and ultra high net worth individuals have been underrepresented. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Come on, Alvin, tell me more. Today, what are we talking about?
Okay, we are talking about King Albert Park.
So what's so good about King Albert Park in District 21?
Okay, so what's interesting about King Albert Park is, first of all, is a smaller enclave.
Nice.
And in this case, right, it actually is nearer to amenities, transportation, and greenery.
So I'm hearing there are about 50 units in King Albert Park.
Yes, that's right.
And nearer to amenities. So what? Okay, all the GCB areas in Singapore, okay, very hard to be near amenities because you want it to be exclusive, you want to be private. But why is it so good to be near amenities actually? Yeah.
Okay, I think maybe coming from a person that walks a lot. Yeah. For me, I walk many of the GCBA enclave, and I kind of like do the measuring of the distance, and I just like the fact that every unit in King Albert, right? It's just a walking distance away to King Albert Mall.
Yes.
Then after that, there's
drive down.
King
There's
Albert
actually
Park, the MRT.
Yep. And there's like great schools nearby.
Yep.
Pei Hwa Presbyterian. And beside Pei Hwa Presbyterian, there's also like Bukit Timah a food center, right?
Yep.
There's amazing food as well. Great. And I think one of the importance of this is because we are seeing younger buyers coming in, right? Recently, we just served someone who was under 35.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Very young.
So what was like his ideal GCB actually when he said,
So I think in this case, he's actually looking, first of all, schools.
Yeah.
Because, for this buyer, he have young kids about to enroll to primary one. I think major stress for a lot of parents with kids going to primary school is like, I need to be near a good school.
Can I get a good school or not? Right? But the minister said all schools are good schools.
True.
But there may be some better schools.
Yes. I would say there'll be preference.
Preferential schools for parents. Yeah, absolutely. So, back to you. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, then the second thing is, for their kids, if they don't have a driver and they're not driving their kids all the time, then their kids have to be independent.
Yeah.
So walking is actually probably part of their life in living in a landed enclave like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think before understanding the profile of buyers that may buy a particular enclave, we need to understand the different GCBAs in Singapore, right? District 21, right? Let's not talk about the Chestnut Cashew area first. Let's also not talk about the Windsor area. We talk about specifically District 21. In District 21, we are seeing a lot of first-time upgraders in the market. Right. And for first-time upgraders in the market, right, they are not born rich most of the time. They are self-made. And once they are self-made, they are used to be staying in heartlands. And that's the reason why, with a price tag in GCBA, in King Albert Park GCBA, under 40 million, you're not going to see people who are staying in Nassim, Cluny, who's going to buy this area. And that's the reason why in the secondary market, if you think about the resellability of this kind of GCBs, it is important to be near amenities. Yeah. Because younger buyers are what we have feedback from this particular buyer, right? Who was not a second gen rich. He was self-made, right? Under 35, fun fact, employed as well. And what he did was, he said, the first criteria I have is this GCB has to be close to a school. He didn't say it has to be a good school. He said it just has to be a school. Number two, it has to be close by amenities because I don't have a driver and they're very humble people. Not that you have a driver is not humble, but because they just experience this huge amount of wealth, right? And they say, I need my kids to be able to travel out themselves safely and there must be a nearby food center for them, right? If not, I can't be fetching my kids because he's traveling almost every single day, right? So that's also the importance of having, some amenities nearby as well. So tell us a little bit more, right? We are going to go into detail about the Kilburn, Binjai, Swiss Club Road area later on. But tell a bit more, like, why don't you think, right, that you personally think that King Albert Park has is better in your opinion compared to the other District 21 plots? What's the reason?
I think this comes to personal opinion. Yeah. So for me, there are times where you don't drive, you just want to walk into a nearby distance, amenities. Yeah, then it's walkable. Yeah. And for what I like especially is near Green Corridor.
Yes.
Have you been to the Green Corridor?
I think did we just go there? Like, is it the Rifle Range Road?
Rifle Range, but no, another one.
Oh no, I've never. I don't walk a lot, as you can see.
Yeah, so for all you people out there who walk Green Corridor, right, you probably will pass by King Albert Park GCBA Enclave. Yeah.
And I think it's very well connected in the greenery zone, right? In the green area. And it's nice. I mean, sometimes after you go home, you want to walk through the greenery area, you can do so as well.
Nice walk.
One con that I don't really like about the King Albert Park area is that it is not the most elevated. Right, yes, I believe that we are holding the highest elevated plot for sale in Kilburn Estate, which is in the Yarwood area, and also in the Binjai area. And we realize that the vantage views that these GCBs get, right, is different.
Wow, very different.
Yes, correct. So it depends on your personal preference, right, as an individual, right? We'll go into numbers later on. And one thing about numbers, right, is that numbers is very unit specific. It's not based on the area, right? You want to know you get a good deal, it's based on what was last transacted and what is the future price that owners are calling for, right? Yeah. But what I'm seeing here is in the King Albert Park area, you don't really have that full vantage point, right? And I like views. So I would definitely consider somewhere in the Binjai and the Kilburn estate if it's my first. But then, of course, my first GCB, but of course, I would think about the accessibility as well. But for me, maybe it's not a big concern because I drive and I have no kids now. Yeah. So we talked about some of the pros of a King Albert Park, right? And the cons is like, personally for myself, I feel that it's not extremely elevated. Okay. So what do you think are some of the cons for King Albert Park?
Okay. Starting with numbers and figures, I think it's the lack of transaction in that area.
Yeah. The last transactor was in 2021, right?
2021, that's right.
Yeah. So pricing is like rarely updated, I would say.
Correct.
Because the 2021 market and the 2023 market is like totally different. It's like one's COVID time, one is like post-COVID, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's why in this case, it's a bit harder to gauge what is the current market in King Albert Park.
Yes. So I think in order to gauge the current market pricing of King Albert Park, right, it's important to also understand surrounding districts surrounding GCBAs in District 21, what is the price that they are commanding? That's the best comparison you have. That's number one. Number two, also understanding what is the land attribute, because there's odd long driveway, regular, there's sunken, there is poor frontage. So you understand and compare the different GCBs. And last but not least, also being able to understand what are the future pricing in the GCB areas. Yeah. Because once you are able to understand what the future pricing of the GCBAs are, of the listings in the GCBAs are, kind of, plus the motivation of the owners, what will the future price be at, right? Somewhere in between will be quite comfortable, right? Yeah, and of course, get a valuer to come down. But most of the sellers don't like valuers because valuers always value it lower than what they want, right? All right, so that's the first con, lack of transactions. What else?
Okay, so another con is King Albert Park actually is like a mini hill. Yeah. So it comes in 3 layers. Yeah, like so you see the first layer, the second and after that the third. Yeah. Yeah. So because of this, right, and it being a small enclave, what happened is some of the land there can be quite steep. Yes. When it comes to the descending slope.
Yes. So some of the land may take into account the descending slope of the hill that makes it sunken.
Correct.
Right. And sunken plots are not plots that people naturally want.
Yes.
But of course, with proper building, advice and also being able to figure out something with good architects and builders within envelope control, it can be an amazing plot because of the natural basement.
It's true. Not just natural basement. Some of the sunken plot, if you look carefully, they do have nice elevated views at the back.
Yes. Because even if your plot is sunken and you are at, let's say, number 2 of the onion, right? Yeah. You are still able to see across the third of the onion because your first floor is actually on the second floor of the other GCBs, right? And this is what we observe in King Albert Park as well.
Many other GCBA A's as well.
Yes.
Yeah, they have a sunken plot. Yes. But then, of course, at the back, is unblocked.
You have unblocked views, right? Beautiful views. So another con that I also realized, right, driving in and out King Albert Park is how small the roads can be. I don't know, right? I think sometimes hosting guests is important and they can't park outside. But this is quite common among some of the GCB areas, right? Yeah. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's indeed quite narrow. That saying, sometimes when you walk at the road, right? You have to navigate with the cars. It gets busy during peak period, two-way traffic.
Yes.
Yeah, so sometimes you just have to stand by the side at the grass.
Yes.
Yeah, other than that, parking is sometimes a concern because comparing with other GCBAs that we have walked down on the ground before, King Albert Park, relatively narrow.
Yes.
Yeah, there
narrower,
are roads.
Right.
Yeah.
And even if I drive through the Swiss Club or the Yarwood area, it's also narrower, right? But the only difference is that, you know why? Why is it narrow? Because all the government know that these homes inside the basement car park can fit 10 cars. So your guests can park inside, right?
That's right.
And also that's why there's some sunken plots that we are also selling. What happens is that the basement car park can easily fit up to 10, 15, right? And that allows you to host versus, having cars outside. And most of the guests that comes in usually are also high profile. So they also don't want people to know that the cars are outside as well, right? Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the listing analysis side of things and also to be able to figure out, right, what is the current inventory in the market? Because all I know right now is that back in 2021, there's a plot in King Albert Park that was sold at 1970 million? 17 million, right? 15,000 square feet plot.
Yep.
And now, based on the asking valuation, asking prices of those that's available in the market, which is all here, what we're saying, right? Tell me, what are the asking prices and how are they like? Yeah.
Okay. So in today's market, right, we have identified 5 listings available in King Albert Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they are actually ranging from 1,008 to 2007 PSF.
I'm not going to consider my 2007, definitely.
But actually, those that are commanding above 2,000, right? They know that the premium is actually the elevated views.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are on the top layer of the hill that we highlighted.
Yeah. 2007, I can easily get some plots in District 10.
Yeah.
Right. And it's of course a better place. And even the elevation in King Albert Park, in my opinion, isn't like crazy elevated. It's not highest point, right? There's no full vantage point as well. So let's talk about some of the listings. I'm seeing it ranges from 30 million to 38.8 million. Anything here that stands out to you?
Well, if you look at it, I would say generally this is quite straightforward. Look at the one with the lowest PSF.
Yeah.
Because like what you mentioned, anything above 2,000, you can actually find similar listing in the CCR region,
District
in
10,
the D10 and So if you look at it, right, the ones that strike out will be the first two, which is below 2,000. Yeah. And I would say below 2,000, this is still somewhere you can consider to negotiate further.
Yeah. So what I'm saying now is that if I were to negotiate the price stack down from 30 million to like 28 million, I can get a good plot at about 1,007 per square foot.
Yeah.
Right. 36 million, I negotiate down to, let's say, 2 million, right? By 2 million, 34 million, I can get about 1,008 PSF, right? Personally, in my opinion, I feel that in the King Albert Park area, it is important to get a PSF that's under 2,000. Anything that's above 2,000, if not newly built, is future pacing in terms of pricing. We don't want our buyers to future pace in pricing. We want them to buy with the assurance that after rebuild, there are competitors that are selling at the same price, right?
Yeah.
And on the average cost of a rebuilding of a GCB, right, and in the market right now, it costs about $8 to $10 million, okay? So let's say if I get a good price off the first listing at 28, I put on 10 million, that's 38. I know that there are listings that are selling, right? One that is smaller than me, some more at 38.8 million, right? And of course, another one at 45 million, right? Original condition, right? Means it has to be rebuilt, right? Maybe the land size is just slightly bigger. This gives value, right? And this shows value that we can enter with assurance that it can be exited in the future market, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And one thing that if you can see, based on the shape over here, we have classified it based on regular, odd, long driveway and regular shape, right? Regular shape doesn't mean that it's not a sunken plot. It just means that it's a squarish plot. And what is one of the reasons why like odd long driveway is not really like preferred by buyers?
Okay, number one is a wasted space.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of buyers actually feedback that this space is hardly utilizable.
You can't use
you
it.
can't maximize the GFA.
Because besides all the other people's home.
Yeah, exactly. And then number two is a one-way drive. Usually, most of them major concern the width of the driveway.
Yes.
Yeah, because usually it's one way in or out.
Yeah.
There's no you can't really have two cars going in.
Yeah,
and out at the same
both
time.
cars have to reverse and then like call each other and say, I'm going to come out first or go in first, right? Yeah. I think another concern that I hear on the ground from buyers is that some buyers, they don't want to buy a shy bungalow. They tell me it's a shy bungalow, right? Because like if you have odd long driveway, your GCB is like very hidden inside and people don't like that, right? And back to your point on talking about like, you know, the wasted space, right? I always thought that it was not wasted space because like, you know, you watch those out like Selling Sunsets Home, right? The driveway leads you all the way up, then it's elevated and then panoramic views, right? Singapore don't have lah. Have lah.
Well, there are a few exceptions. But other than that, most of the time, if it's a flat, long driveway, then you have to be careful because some of these long driveway detachers, right? Would then be a lock-in detach.
Yes.
Yeah. What we mean by lock-in means the tree facing, your front and two sides are basically blocked by units.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have a triple blockage unit. Yeah. Unless it's elevated, right?
Yeah.
And when it's elevated, you're not going to get a price tag of 30, 35. You're going to get it like close to 50 to even $70 million.
Yeah,
right?
you'll be paying a premium.
Yeah, absolutely on that. So any concluding thoughts about the King Albert Park GCBA?
Well, to summarize, I think this is something you can consider if you're a new entry upgrader into the GCB market.
Yeah, whether you are semi-detached owner, detached owner, or even like a current buyer who has been staying in the EC for his life and, you know, just shifting to a first-time GCB.
And also for young families, you know, when you just want to have a hassle-free logistics for your kids, this is somewhere that is convenient for you to consider.
Yeah. So I think the King Albert Park GCBA is one of the most monumental District 21 GCB areas because of number one, I think there's some history behind the name, right? What is the history behind the name?
So fun fact, this is actually named after King Albert I of Belgium.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Don't quote me on this, but what I understand is King Albert. The King Albert the first is actually recorded in the National Library.
Okay.
But what I understand is King Albert III is has a place in Singapore as well.
Oh.
This is what I understand. Yeah, but don't quote me on this.
Okay. So no matter whether it's King Albert 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 7th, 18th, 20th, most importantly is that as the buyers, right, buying this GCB, want to make sure they can make money, right?
Yeah.
So I think the concluding thoughts that Alvin has is based on your preference, right? Consider the King Albert Park GCB area. If you are someone who is looking at you're a first-time entrant, you want a hassle-free logistical move where there are going to be amenities nearby, right? And in my opinion, I would say this, consider a King Albert Park GCBA unit if the PSF makes sense, right? Because ultimately you want to be able to make that profits and also be able to exit in the secondary market, right? Without emotions, right? So always enter based on the PSF. Then after that, understand the land attributes a little bit here and there, right? And to see, whether is it comparable? Can you do an actual valuation based on the surrounding comparisons, right? And how fair the valuation is the owner asking for right now, okay? Thank you so much for watching this episode of the JNA Capital Markets series. We haven't come up with a name yet. As Alvin mentioned, we are going to come up with a name. Stay tuned, right? If you haven't joined our Telegram group chat, please join the Telegram group chat over here, right? And if you have any questions about GCB, you need our opinions about anything, go down. Right here is the number. You can just contact it. Our client care executive will be more than happy to connect with you. If you love this video, give us a thumbs up because you think that you like analysis of GCB areas. Next one, what are we covering?
Okay, somewhere interesting in D10.
Wow, D10, the CCR, the big boys, right? Fun fact, in D10, not all are big boys. There are some that can be even cheaper than King Albert Park. Yeah. So that's when you got to stay tuned and you got to find out. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Houses by JNA Capital Markets. I'm not sure what
we'll
is it.
Come out with a name next time.
We'll come up with a next time. But thank you so much for watching this episode of Singapore's Real Estate Explained. This is Jarvis.
This is Alvin.
Our ending has never been the same if you watch all the videos. Because I never come up with anything.
We will tie that on there.
Okay, so we have to tie a lot of things down. But we just hope that you've enjoyed this video, alright? We'll see you for the next one in the Week 10. Take care and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.